Howdy folks, Jay Boone here from Emerald City Guitars, and I'm here today for our pick of the day. And man, the morning started out great. So first thing this morning, a guy walks in and he brings in his 1959 Les Paul Custom triple pickup guitar. His dad bought him this guitar when he was 11 years old in 1960. And that blew my mind, first of all. Like, he got one of the most expensive guitars, electric guitars that were out there at age 11. And so this guy's had this his whole life. Came down from Alaska, brought this guitar into us, and I did a quick inspection on it and an appraisal for him, and now it's in our shop. So really, really thrilled to have this guitar in here. And so we opened it up right in front of him and showed him everything about this guitar, and it all checked out like fantastically, like 100%. 3 PAFs, all have the stickers on them. The original ABR1 bridge here by Gibson, the original wraparound, super lightweight when we took that off. That's just how you want them. The witch hat knobs, you can see that. The original old gold Grovers, which they were putting on these guys back then. And of course the original black finish. And this is just a great example of this. There was one little story he had about the scratch on the surface of this guitar, and his recollection was that when he was 13 years old, his buddy had a Kennedy $50 and he was kind of scratching the top of this guitar, and it's like, oh my God, what? But you know, there's a few dings and little nicks in this guitar on the front and back. But I mean, this survived the teenage years, and the guy doesn't really play that much. He hasn't played this guitar for a long time. When he brought it in, the frets had a little bit of green on them, so we polished those up. And I did a nice little spit shot in this guy. We cleaned the potentiometers up. All the date codes are right, the solder's right. So everything right now is just totally functional. And this baby just plays and sounds amazing. It's really cool the way the binding has yellowed around the headstock, on the logo, but yet on the pick guard, the switch tip, and on the truss rod cover, it remains white. And you see that quite often on these. And it's really interesting how that the materials react over time. But yeah, just a great guitar. Some of the gold obviously has been worn around the pickups and on the gold hardware, but still very obvious that they're gold plated. The buttons, you know, the switch right there, original input jack, everything. This is just a killer 59 Les Paul. And we're gonna plug this thing in here and see how she sounds through this old vintage Gibson amp I have here, and let you hear these pickups. Now the middle position is still wired in that out-of-phase sound, so it sounds much thinner than the other 2 positions, and that's how they wired them in those days. So we're going to leave it just like that. Some guys will rewire that to get a little more oomph out of that middle position, but we like to leave them just like they were, and there's no reason to do anything to this guitar, man. It's been the same for what, almost 60 years, and just really excited to have this guitar in here. And of course, the original case, the guy kept all these years, and that's in great shape too. A little wear around the handle there, but you see that often. But all the latches work, it's not falling apart, and just a real cool addition to the Emerald City Guitars family. All right, so we're gonna start out with the bridge position pickup on this, which is a little brighter, obviously, than the other ones. And yeah, let's see how she sounds here. So I'm going to pop it up in the neck, which will be a much warmer kind of sound. You can hear that there. Cool. Okay, in the middle position, it's that out of phase sound, so a much thinner, kind of jangly sound of the. All right, there you have it, an original 1959 Gibson Les Paul Custom 3 pickup version. And that's my pick of the day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.